I know of very few Hachamim that employ genuine Sephardi methodology to Talmud Torah. And I'm not saying this chas v'shalom to express anger or even frustration. I'm saying this because I want people to understand the correct approach to Talmud Torah. And I recently, just yesterday, posted a video in Hebrew about the Zeman Sheki'at HaChamah, how Rambam refers to Sheki'at HaChamah many times, and how Rav Kafech, alav shalom, be'emet, kavra rabbah, I mean, unbelievable. Ani afar leraglav. And also Harav Arusi, also a big Tamil Chacham from Israel, they follow the approach that when Rambam says Shekiat HaChamah, he means anything but Shekiat HaChamah. He means 1 star, he means less than 1 star, more than 1 star. That really what we know as Shekiat HaChamah is not Shekiat HaChamah, even though Rambam never said so. Right? Now the cornerstone of Sephardic methodology is that you have to take language seriously. The cornerstone of Pilpulistic ideology is that you don't have to take language seriously. That you can say a cow, but you really meant a bottle of milk, right? Or you can say a bottle of milk and you really meant the moon, right? That to me is Pilpulistic methodology, where you take the words that a precise and careful writer wrote, right, and you misconstrue those words, and you deconstruct what he wrote, and then reinterpret what he wrote in a way which doesn't comport with the simple language. So that's what I want to read to you. I want to show you why this methodology is actually logically absurd. I'm just going to give you one example. And I read this in the Hebrew class yesterday. So it says, Rambam writes in Perush HaMishnayot, what does it mean? Okay? This is after the day has passed. So it's after the sun leaves the sky, and then there's taher, and then he eats from the kodashim. And now listen to the lashon of Rambam. Why didn't he just write Instead he wrote Why did he write Miseta Kochavim? It's the same time, meaning the Kohanim eat from the terumah when Seta Kochavim should just say, don't tell me Kiryat Shema is from the time that the Kohanim eat terumah, just tell me the Kiryat Shema is Mishat Seta Kochavim. So that teach us 2 lessons at once. That to teach us a lesson that if a Kohen made tevilah, even though he made tevilah from his tumah, he's only allowed to eat after the sun sets. Okay? He says after. It doesn't say immediately with sunset, but they want to say that here you see that according to Rambam, Shekiat HaChamah is Seta Kochavim. Because what did he write before? Before he wrote right? Which is when they can really eat, right? The reason is to teach us that the Kohen cannot eat from the terumah until Seta Kochavim. And here he writes, he said, Achare Shkiat HaChamah you can eat. Of course, Seta Kochavim is Achare Shkiat HaChamah, but it doesn't matter. Let's just go with this reasoning. And furthermore, as I pointed out, later on, Rambam added in the second edition, he added Achare Shkiat HaChamah v'Seta Kochavim. But let's just put that on the side. Those are actual facts, which completely destroy and unravel the entire argument. But the point is, let's say that he's right, that here it means miyad b'shkiat hachama. Okay, so it would be contradictory. He just wrote Seta Kochavim. Now he says shkiat hachama. He says no. So from here we see bevadaut, says Rav Kafach and says Rav Arutzi, that what's shkiat hachama? Shkiat hachama is Seta Kochavim, right? Meaning what we call shkiat hachama is not really shkiat hachama. It's later on. It's Seta Kochavim that's shkiat hachama. I mean, you can apply that reasoning the other way. You can say when Chachamim said to Kochavim, they really meant Shkiat HaChamah. Right? You can apply it that way also. Meaning you're telling me, from here we see that Tzeta Kochavim is Shkiat HaChama. So I'll say, okay, so I'm going to say, therefore, that Shkiat HaChama is Tzeta Kochavim, and therefore that's it. Once you see the sun set, that's Tzeta Kochavim. So the actual, what you call the Shki'ah, is something before. The whole thing is ludicrous. It's absurd. Mechila. This is Pilpulistic methodology. And I love Harav Kafech, and I love Harav Arutzi. Of course, I love any Talmid Chacham that studies Torah, but this is ludicrous. Harambam wrote Seta Kochavim, Bimforash. This is also Lashon HaGemara, Uba HaShemesh, number 1, Betaher, number 2, Beter Yoma. And this whole thing that, no, really, Shki'ah is Seta Kochavim, but it's not Seta Kochavim. Elohim Yishma. And then in the case of Ne'ilah, where Harambam writes in Hilchot Tefillah, he writes about what's the zaman of Ne'ilah. He writes explicitly, Samuch Lishkiat HaChama, before Shkiat HaChama. Samuch, close to Shkiat HaChama. And then Harambam explains why is it called Tefilat Ne'ilah, Nin'alu Sha'arei Shamayim Be'ad HaChama. So he uses the reasoning why it's called Ne'ilah to undo the explicit statement of Samuch Lishkiat HaChama. Why is it called Ne'ilah? Because the sun was already covered, meaning it's hidden. Right? That's it. Alu Sha'arei Shamayim. The gates of the heaven have locked, shut closed on the sun. So here we see that really, Samuch Lishkiat HaChama means after sunset. But it doesn't make sense. But you just said that the gates of heaven closing, meaning the sun is already set. Right? According to your explanation, the sun has already set and the gates of heaven are closed. So why would he use the word Samuch Lishkiat HaChama? Right? It's ludicrous. It's ludicrous. So when Harambam said Samuch Lishkiat HaChama, he didn't really mean Samuch Lishkiat HaChama. He meant after Shkiat HaChama and Samuch I guess Yetziat Kochav Echad. Okay. And when he gave the explanation of Ne'ilah as being the Shamayim Nin'alu Be'ad HaChama, the same exact word, Shkiat HaChama Be'ad HaChama, that meant actually that's the actual time. Again, the whole thing is ludicrous. I can flip it on its end and say that Samuch Lishkiat HaChama is actually the real sunset. Even though we still see the sun with the eyes, right? But no, that's actually sunset, and the proof is Ne'ilah is called Ne'ilah. Of course, Ne'ilah is called Ne'ilah because it's the last chance you have to pray before the sun sets, because once the sun sets, Na'alu Sha'arei Shamayim, it's so simple. Any child studying this understands what it's talking about. And yet, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's yeshiva-ish methodology, going to yeshiva. I don't know. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I love yeshivot. I love Talmud Torah. But somehow people who get immersed in that thing, they start taking words, twisting them. It means one thing here, it means another thing here. So Samuch Lishkiat HaChama doesn't really Samuch Lishkiat HaChama. In that case, Samuch Lishkiat HaChama means after sunset, right? But after sunset is not really after sunset because it's Nin'alu Sha'arei Shamayim. You know what? Baruch Hashem, that I didn't study in any of these yeshivot. Elohim Yishmor. I don't know how you can come out sane. Really? I'm just a simple person. I have the mind of a 5-year-old. That's all. Mechila. I'll go to Olam Haba. I'll be happy. Harambam wrote Shkiat HaChama. Samuch Lishkiat HaChama. He wrote Tzeta Kochavim. He wrote Ben Hashem Hashot. It's really simple. I like to keep my life simple. The Sephardic methodology is just keep things simple. Stop twisting words that were written beautifully and clearly. And the same, remember the Teshuvah of Harav Odeah Yosef, where he brings a Sha'agat Aryeh, that Harambam says that, you could do the Korban up to Shkiat HaChama. He says, no, there it means Seta Kochavim, Elohim Yishmor. Why? Enough of this. Can you just read the words and respect the actual words? Because if you're going to twist the words the same way you twisted one way, you can twist it the other way. And maybe this is why we have the Reform movement.